Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyiga. You're welcome to my channel. Um, this afternoon or this morning, depending on your time, I want to talk on the religious traps to avoid in the new year. The religious traps to avoid in the new or coming year. I didn't name the year because this is supposed to be evergreen. God bless you. Um, thank God that one year is going now, and a new one is coming in. Every individual is supposed to have a plan for the new year. Some people plan according to their birthdays, you know, which means their anniversary begins on the first day of their birthdays. Whereas some people follow the normal uh, calendar year, which is January to December. Whichever way you are looking at it, you just have to have a particular period in the year that you choose, a 12-month cycle to plan your life. Every individual ought to do this. And one of our problems in Africa is that we do not observe this golden rule. We just live day to day, year to year, year in, year out, and there's no way we try to measure what we have achieved or what we have failed to achieve because we do not have plan. We do not have any, even some people don't have mental plan. They just go ahead with life like that. That is very risky, and that is why many of us in Africa, we find ourselves where we ought not to find ourselves when we are old. And before you knew it, of course, we really understand that life is short. Before you realize it, you are already 50, you are 60. And by the time you have your report, you either be regretting or you are rejoicing. I pray that you will rejoice. And for you to rejoice, you must have definite plans for your life. But what is most important is that you must subsume all your plans under God's plan. And how do you know that? When you make your plans and you are implementing them, sometimes the will of God will change your plan. And when that happens, of course, you know that the will of God has superseded your own because man proposes, God disposes. So let God be inside of your plans for the new year. And then, let me tell you, if you don't plan your life, somebody will use you to execute the plans he has for himself. That somebody can be your employers, that somebody can be your religious organizations, and that somebody can just be anybody who has his plans and needs you to implement such plans in order to be for them to be realized. And one that let me look at the employers, for instance. Employers, of course, they have their annual budget. Just that Nigeria has its own budget now for the coming year. It was read a few days back, and that is what they will follow this year. Individuals are supposed to do that. So, and um, you can now see that whether in government or in private as employers, they also have their own plans. So if you don't have a plan, you and I will be used to execute other people's plans, and those people will have results. And those of us who have no plan, we have nothing to point to as per our achievement under a particular period under review. This we must avoid as the new year comes in. Now, employers, for instance, like I said, they have their budgets, and the implementation of it is what you carry out throughout the year. Those of us who are working for them. And then another important organization in human life that will use us and dump us is our religious organizations. Thank God that there are a lot of free the sheepy movements here and there. That is, people from about 2017, people have realized that a lot is happening. That our religious leaders are using us to accomplish their goals. As I speak with you now, there is a particular Pentecostal church that is doing what you call let's go a fishing. As I speak with you, there is a portion of a land being cleared right in front of the accommodation I am recording from. And the purpose of that plan is for them to plant a new church there. You see, that is a plan for that church to be established in that place and to accommodate the people who are within that range. There is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And they are able to reach out to such people so that the people will not spend so much money traveling around, so much energy traveling around. But it is people that will populate this church. And you may be one of them, I may be one of them. But if the church can have that plan, don't be surprised in the next 1, 2, 3 years that church would have been established fully and with permanent members, so to speak. So, uh, and they will need you to carry out all those plans, church building, purchase of chairs, um, winning of souls, and so on and so forth. There is nothing wrong with the work of evangelism, anything that will promote the spiritual well being of the people. But the caveat is this: as these churches made their plans, what plans do you have? And there is a book that I wrote which I titled Family Budgeting. That book, just like an organization's budget book or a nation's budget book, will sit down. How much am I expected to earn this year? One. Two, from what sources will they come? One, two, three, four. Let me give an example now. The first one will be maybe if you are an employee from your salary, how much am I supposed to earn? Of course, you know your annual salary. You just put that figure there. Then, if you have purchased a few stocks, you total them together and uh, you know that you own these stocks or that you want to buy. You also plan that, okay, I want to buy stocks this year, but that's under expenditure. Now, the stocks you have, last year, how much did you receive as dividends? That may be your second expected income. Then, number three, it could be that you have other investment. Maybe you have rent, buildings. Maybe you are the type that is what do you call them? Real estate person. You build one or two or three or five houses, then you estimate, excuse me, how much you expect that those projects to bring in. It could also be that you have some other sources of income. You put them there. Then let's go to expenditure. How much am I supposed to um, spend this year? Of course, you are supposed to remember the work of God. There is no doubt about that. There's nothing wrong if you put that as number one. But it has to be what you purpose in your heart. Second Corinthians chapter 9, verse um, 7. Second Corinthians chapter 9. Let everybody give as he purposes in his heart. And this is what we want to hammer upon. Don't allow any church to use you as a stooge or to use you as just an instrument that has no plan. All right? You have to put in your budget how much you want to spend on the work of God. For instance, offerings. You have to say, okay, I'm giving this for love offering. I want to donate this year. I want to do this. And even if you have mind to give gifts, you can give gifts and so on and so forth. If you put that together, that amount, put it in bulk, money towards the work of God. That is the kind of money you use to support people too. They are all part of it. According to Second Corinthians, no, no, according to Matthew 23, you are supposed to remember the poor. All right? James 1:27. Churches themselves are even supposed to remember the poor, the orphan, the widows. So all those ones. But as an individual, this is how much I want to spend on church. This, and you have to stick to it. Otherwise, and in that process, give generously to the work of God. Love offering, donations, vows, if you make pledges and other, list them there, and so on and so forth. If you don't have all this, you will run into religious traps. Because if you look at the way that the church is structured, they have unending demand for money, such that we've had churches that demanded for as much as 50% of your income. We have the ones that have demanded as much as 90% of your income, as even at all these ones as tithes alone. Talk less of the love offering, talk less of pledges, talk less of vows, talk less of um, development projects and all that. And once you don't have an amount assigned to what you want to give to the work of God in a year, the church will end up taking everything you have and such that you don't even remember. You have to have a plan, a budget for how much you want to spend on your parents' feeding, medication, clothing, housing, everything. And then you have to also have that under family now. You have to have plans for your extended your siblings, and no matter how little, you have to have a portion for the larger members of the family, extended members. It's because we don't quantify all these things. That's why we run, into trouble remembering them. And when pressures from the church comes, it leaves us with nothing. Okay, leaves us with nothing. So at the end of the day, you find that the way the church engages you, you will discover that you would have entered into their trap, and uh, to get out, you may become uh, insensible as a religious person. You become religious, not necessarily serving God. So you have limited resources, maybe from the profit of your business and other sources, and your expenditure too must be targeted such that you balance everything: your children's school fees, your feeding, your transportation, your electricity, your utility, your telephone. You know how much you spend on data, and then put all those things down. By the time you put it, you'll be able to balance your expenditure in such a way that there is no sector, whether it is religious or family or anything, that would take the portion of the other one. So it's a religious, in fact, like I said, the most um, difficult to control source of financial drain is religion. Remember, like I said, if you don't educate your children at 50 years and above, you will get your report. When the children are supposed to be supporting you and they cannot because you didn't help them to where they can support you. And then if you don't invest and you find yourself, you put all your money in church buildings and all that, at the end of the day, you have nothing to fall back on at retirement. Your report will come back to you. And then maybe I tell you, you see the age from 0 to 30 is called the vibrant age. The other segment, 30 to 50, is an age of activity, age where you can build, you can plan, you can run. But from 50 upwards, you begin to have slow down in your journey. But by the time you are 60, you go up to the sixth zone, the sick zone. There is no how powerful, how much you maintain your body or your system medically, that you will not be challenged anytime from 60 years. And your response then It will depend upon your ability, how much you have, excuse me, how much you have to be able to take good care of yourself. And I want to tell you, it is very, very extremely expensive to maintain your old age than it is to maintain your early ages. So you need to be careful. And if no ability to cope is there at that time, you run into problems. I tell you, if it is your eyes that have problems, you will discover that you may spend millions just to keep your eyes going. If it is your kidney or heart or liver, you may spend millions because things are very expensive now. I even feel for all those young ones who are just coming now and those who are still at work. I wonder, may God just give you the wisdom to be able to. That's why planning for your old age is very important. And one of the things that can, most fundamental things that can truncate the plan of your life is religious activities. If you don't have budget and you don't stick to the minimal budget that you give for the work of God, that sector, and you begin to pour everything there, and the way they do it is that the demands are unending, and they put emotion, they put threats, they put fake promises. They say if you do this will happen, if you do that, this will happen. It's a lie. What you do is what you sow is what you reap. If you don't invest and you put every money, yes, putting money in the church of God is an investment, but it's an intrinsic investment. It's something that you don't necessarily get in financial reward back. It's not the same thing as when you put money in investment, maybe real estate, and in your old age, you either start selling the houses or you collect your rents. No, you are not collecting any financial return back from the church of God. Even while you are still active, they are not giving you. It is worse when you are old. They won't give you nothing. Instead, they will even wait until your dying day. They that cannot support you during your uh, uh, the period you are active in the church, they will not support you in your old age. That is why, you see, if you contribute to the best of your ability, I contribute, the church of God will run without hurting any of us. But if you think that, okay, because you want to please God, which they have put in your brain, and then you do more than you can, or you do foolish. I particularly beg you never to pay tithes. I particularly beg you never to pay first fruit. Hebrews 7 has nullified all that. God don't place upon you the burden that the Lord has not placed upon you. Your religious leader, your Jews, will tell you that this is what we give you um, 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 uh, blessings. It is a lie. It is how prudent you are, how you are able to multiply what you get that will give you blessings. Like Deuteronomy 28, 10 to 14 has to tell us. So we need to be very careful. Investment in people is good. Yes, help the poor. Help, you know, help the poor, help your parents, help everybody as much as you can. So what I just want to chip in is that a new year is coming in. Don't be a foolish somebody, religious somebody that pours everything in the church, expecting certain returns. And you will be disappointed when you are old that you will be left alone to yourself. A word is enough for the wise. As the new year comes in, have your plans and then work according to those plans. Don't be moved by any pressure. Anything that they enter into this year's budget should enter into another year's budget, and stick to that. Make sure you balance it. Your church, the church of God, your your parents, your children, your siblings, your larger family, then even, well, then you'll be expected to pay some little tokens to your community as much as you can donate. They are all good. Balance the equation without losing control of your life. If you start doing this from this new year that you are going into, and by the time at the end of the year you look at yourself, you will have nothing to regret. No amount of money you have that the church will not take from you, and they give you nothing in return. Serving God is not the same thing as making money. Work hard to make money, invest the money well, and make sure you get returns. And then serving God is, you know, your programs, yes, attend as many as you can. They also give you programs that doesn't allow you to even think of what to do extra to make your money. Be careful of church, extraordinary church attendance, programs upon programs upon programs upon programs. Be careful for that. In the new year, you have to plan when you want to attend the service. Just pick a few that you know that will not interfere with your life, because their programs are unending too, just as their demand for money are unending. And in every program, you pay money. These are the things that spoils your budget. So you have to be very careful. God bless you. I think we should stop here for now. It is just a quick one, and I hope you will profit and share it amongst everybody. It is foolishness to give everything you have to the house of God, and while you neglect your family, while you neglect your community, while you neglect investment that will fetch you ability to financial ability to take care of yourself in old age. Remember what I always say, that your old age will not forgive you. The church will forget you. Your old age will not forgive you. Old age will not forget your negligence, and it will punish you if you don't do things right now. God bless you. I'm your friend, Pastor Yemi Omokwega. Please remember to share, subscribe, and like our videos. Press the notification button so that you get to know when we upload new videos. Very vital. Thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed and are still subscribed. Please share extensively. Have a wonderful day. Bye.